Hi, I'm Terry Tucker. I had the privilege of being one of Danny's close friends, perhaps his tallest, and certainly his best looking one-legged friend living with cancer. As we mark his untimely passing, thank you for taking a moment to remember him and his family with me. Before he died, Danny asked me to write and record a short eulogy that will be posted on his social media sites. This is my attempt to honor his memory and reflect on a life well lived. They say laughter is the best medicine, unless you have brain cancer. In that case, you should probably consult a neurologist. Danny would have laughed at that, made it darker, and then made me laugh until I regretted asking how he was doing. The truth is, Danny and I didn't know each other well at first. I'd been a guest on his AFib podcast once, just a single hour-long conversation. But when he received his brain cancer diagnosis, he reached out. He didn't reach out to hundreds of people. He didn't retreat into isolation as the disease tends to make people do when they first hear the news. He reached out to someone he barely knew because a malignancy has a way of cutting through the despair. Danny had that gift of connection. That phone call turned into a friendship. We certainly talked about cancer, but more than that, we spoke about living, about faith, family, friends, and how messed up and miraculous life is. It didn't matter that we lived in different countries or had never met in person. When he called, it felt like he was an old friend I just hadn't caught up with in a while. Once, we did a YouTube live stream together. It was a Sunday evening, and we were talking, laughing, answering questions from the audience, and probably being a little too honest about our cancer journeys. And Danny had a seizure right in the middle of the episode. He called out for Lisa as he postured, dropped out of the frame, and his feed cut. People watching started messaging me, imploring me to help. But I had no idea where he lived. Just Canada. That's all I had. Canada. Not super helpful in a crisis. But that was Danny. He gave himself so fully to others that when something went wrong, strangers worldwide were ready to jump in to save him. That's his legacy of connection, hope, and love. Danny was a power lifter in every sense. He could lift more poundage than most of us will ever dream of. But his true strength wasn't in the weight room. It was in how he carried the burden of brain cancer without ever losing his faith, his humor, and his humanity. Lisa, you were his anchor and his light. He loved you with a depth that came through in every conversation we had. And to his mother and brother, you gave him purpose and strength long before he ever stepped into an exercise room. He carried your love with him through every treatment, every broadcast, and every life he touched. Danny's social media channels weren't just a chronicle of disease. They were a roadmap of resilience, a guidepost for anyone going through something challenging, demanding, and frightening. He wanted people to know what this journey looked like, and he showed it all, unfiltered. brave, bold, beautifully human. As I mentioned, he believed in faith, family, and friends, his holy trinity of connection. And he lived that belief out loud. Even in discomfort and pain, he chose connection over loneliness, openness over opposition. Today, we remember a man who didn't let cancer define him, but used it to deepen what already made him extraordinary. His strength, his humor, his heart, and most importantly, his faith in a God he had recently reconnected with. As I close, let me offer this small prayer. It's similar to the prayer I read when my father passed. Danny, you were a gentleman who deeply loved life, laughter, and family. We who were touched by your loving life return him to you as ever present and faithful God. Gather those who shared his spirited life. Let them celebrate. For now you will care, smile, and listen for all eternity. We will keep your memory alive. We will never stop loving you. Be at peace forever, dear husband, father, son, brother, and friend. Please pray for us as we offer prayers for you. Rest easy, Danny. To paraphrase the Bible verse from St. Timothy, you've fought the good fight. You've finished your final set. You've kept the faith. Your family and friends will take it from here. Redeemer God, provide the soul of your departed servant Danny with your light, mercy, and forgiveness. May he rest in the peace of Christ forever, and may perpetual light shine upon him.